What up, boys and girls, Rocketeers, KUFFS fam? Welcome to the stream. How y'all doing? Happy Friday to you. It's court night. As y'all can see, we got Judge Lou Brickant on the bench tonight. Going to be hearing some cases, looking over some plea deals, all that fun stuff. So it should be a good time. Let me run through the chat real quick and see who we got before it resets. I see we got Taylor Ray here, been sponsoring for 7 months, been on Discord for 7 years. Look at that. Welcome, Taylor. Good to see you. We got Jamie H in the house, who is another one of our sponsors and service supporters and community members. And I believe he's streaming the news aspect of things tonight once he finishes up one of his cases. We got Jeremy Stewart here. We got Chris Taubert, moderator to the stars. What is up, Chris? Good to see you. DJ Jackson's here. Welcome, welcome. Aaron Madden, what's up? Good to see you. We got Jason Everett here. What's up, Jason? P. Hoffman Gaming, another one of our community members, is here. What's going on? Good to see you. Nicholas, 2018 Charger Peel is in the house. What's going on, Nicholas? Good to see you. Jake Clark, welcome to the stream. Keegan Gorange Gaming, another one of our sponsors here on the channel. Longtime sponsor. Good to see you, Keegan. Welcome to the stream. We got Turtle Gaming, one of our community members. We've also got Michael Tingley in the house, one of our sponsors. What's going on, Michael? Good to see you. Oh, it reset on me, y'all. Let's see. I see Southpaw 73. What's up, Southpaw? Good to see you. We got Craig 092, one of our community members, server supporters, sponsors on the channel, all that good stuff. We got Jorge Zambrano in the house. What's up, Jorge? Max El Soro, what's up? Good to see you. I see the Bad Guy 34, another one of our community members. Yep, everything is good. Everything is good. Stacy's a Guy Gaming, what's going on? Yeah, it's like 37 live streams. I know everybody's streaming tonight, Lord Jesus. Joe Roy Boyd is here. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. Matthew Harrison here. What's up? Oh man, it reset on me. I'm trying to catch it. Mr. Wizard's here, one of our community members and sponsors. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Leah's here. What's up, Leah? Welcome, welcome. Brandon Lohman's here, another one of our sponsors on the channel. Good to see you. Dustin Cross is here. We got Ian Hodges, another one of our long-term sponsors. What's up, Ian? Good to see you. Hope things are good. Jorge Zambrano. Hello, hello. Krista R.A., another one of our sponsors. Good to see you, Krista. Welcome to the stream. Dustin K is here. Hey, Jay. What's up, brother? You know of 5 people streaming? Yeah, I know. I know. JD Games. What's up, Joe? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Mr. Wizard's been sponsoring for 18 months. Time to wrongfully prosecute, he says. No, I don't know. I think these are all pretty good cases, to be honest with you. J-Pock, one of our new player coordinators and community members. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Doolin Gaming's in the house. What's up, Doolin? Good to see you, brother. Man, y'all still snowed in up there? I still got all that snow going on? Lord Jesus. Man, I don't know if I could deal with all that snow, to be honest with you. All right, so like I said, I know we got multiple other people streaming. I'm going to go ahead and bring the court into session. Steve the Body Man's here, another one of our sponsors. What's up there, brother? Good to see you. Chad Harris, what's up? Good to see you, man. How you been? We ain't heard from you in a long time there, homeboy. Yeah, we about to drop that Justice Hammer. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did say it was supposed to rain on Thursday. Hey, Jason Everett, what's up? Good to see you. Blade Studios is in the house. What's up, Blade? I think Blade's in the courtroom too. So let's go ahead. Let's kick this off. Ladies and gentlemen, our court is now in session. Couple of housekeeping reminders for you in the courtroom. Do make sure that you don't disrupt any of the proceedings so I don't have to hold you in contempt and send you right on to the jail for the rest of the evening. And make sure that your cell phones are silenced or turned off. I don't want any ringing in the courtroom. No photographs, no video, no audio recording. We'll go ahead and call our first case. Do we have, let's see, let's get the prosecutor first. Gonna need to see Prosecutor Jack KUFFS and Defense Attorney Al Sharkskin. This is gonna be in the matter of State of San Andreas versus Sly J. Jacobs. Mr. Jacobs, you can come forth with your attorney.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. KUFFS, are you in the courtroom?
That's affirmative, sir.
Oh, no problem, DJ. I appreciate you being here for 6 years there, homeboy. Ian says, who let the Aussie? Do we have Mr. Sharkskin and Mr. Sly Jacobs?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jacobs is here. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. If we could get y'all to the defense table over there, Mr. Sharkskin and Mr. Jacobs. Mr. KUFFS. It's my understanding there's a plea deal pending in this matter.
I believe that is correct, Your Honor.
Oh, I know. I wish Booty could be on too, man. I'd be missing him. All right, let me look over it here on my end just for a moment. While I'm doing that, Mr. KUFFS, do you have the nature of the charges available? Mr. KUFFS?
Yes, Your Honor. He's got 7 counts of Grand Theft Auto, possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, public intoxication ×2, speeding 1 to 9 over, possession of fake license ID. That's the current charges for today.
Oh my. You said 7 counts of Grand Theft Auto, right?
That's affirmative.
All right, I don't seem to have copied the notes into the docket information here. What was the plea agreement?
Your Honor, I have not been in contact with the suspect. This defendant here had not contacted me. I do not have any plea agreement on my records, nor have I spoken to this gentleman for this best second right here before you.
Okay. I believe ADA Hamlin had sent a message to the court that there was a guilty plea to be entered. Mr. Jacobs, was that your intention, was to enter a plea of guilty?
Yes, Your Honor. That was my intention.
Okay, and you have not met with Mr. Sharkskin yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay. So, do you wish to be represented by Mr. Sharkskin, or you plan on representing yourself?
I guess he can represent me, but I didn't see any need for a representative. You know, I was gonna plead guilty and go ahead and get on out of here.
Okay, so when you spoke with Mr. Hamlin, was there what was the agreement you two came to? Was there a reduced sentence, or?
Yes, sir. There was going to be a slight reduced sentence. I know I messed up stealing those cars, so I know I got to pay my time for those cars and all that. But I think he said he was going to drop the what's it called, the fake ID, fake license charge, and the possession with intent to distribute. Because I still maintain that was all personal. That was all personal usage.
How does that sound to you, Mr. KUFFS, to drop the 1 felony count of possession of controlled substance with intent to distribute and the misdemeanor charge of possession of a fake license or identification?
That sounds good with me, Your Honor. However, I would like to go for the maximum on the Grand Theft Auto charges.
I'm inclined to go on the lower end, Mr. KUFFS, due to the subject pleading guilty on all of these charges. He's got quite the list here. 3 years per count. I would give the maximum if we ran those concurrently at the same time. Is that agreeable to the prosecution?
I'd be agreeable with that.
All right, Mr. Jacobs, you understand that by pleading guilty, you're waiving your right to a trial. You're also waiving your right to appeal the decision and the sentencings of this court. Do you understand that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I understand that. Yes, sir.
Hey, country boy, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. All right. Well, in light of the plea agreement and the prosecution not having any issues with it, Mr. Sharkskin, do you have any issues with that? I know you haven't met with your client. I would be sentencing him on the low end of everything, except the 7 counts of grand theft auto, which would be sentenced at the maximum of 3 years, but those would be run concurrently, so it would just be 1 3-year sentence. Is that agreeable to you, Mr. Sharkskin?
That's agreeable to me, sir. Whatever this gentleman would like to do to settle his
Haley, what's
debt
going
with
on? Good to see
society,
you.
I'm okay with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I want to do. Settle my debt. I know I owe a debt.
All right, so we are going to be dismissing the charge of possession of a fake license or identification. I will be dropping the charge of possession of controlled substance with the intent to distribute. Mr. Jacobs, you'll be found guilty on 7 counts of grand theft auto. I sentence you to 3 years to be served concurrent. You have 3 years for each of those 7 charges, but they will be served all at one time, so it will be a max of 3 years there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I also will find you guilty on the 2 counts of public intoxication, 1 count of speeding, 1 to 9 miles per hour or over. Total sentence is going to be 4 years in the Department of Corrections to be served at Bolingbroke. Your fine, sir, your fines will be $72,000.
Yes, sir.
You will need to, you will have up to, once you get out of your 3-year prison sentence, Mr. Jacobs, you'll have 3 years of probation.
Okay.
You have to pay off those fines within those 3 years of that probation. They can be paid before then, of course, but you will have till 3 years after you're released to get those paid.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna order that you report to. You're gonna have to report to jail beginning tomorrow.
Okay.
I believe there's gonna be a prison transport. You'll be contacted by the Department of Corrections to let you know where to come and turn yourself in. You'll be transported to Bolingbroke at that time.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Does that sound good, Mr. Sharkskin?
Yes, sir. I agree with that, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. KUFFS, you're good with that?
Yes, sir. I'm happy with that.
All right, so that's the order of the court. $72,000 fine. We're going to do a total of 4 years at Bolingbroke, 3 years probation. $72,000 fine has to be paid before the end of that 3-year probation.
Okay.
Any questions, Mr. Jacobs?
No, sir. No, Your Honor. I don't have any questions.
All right, you can go ahead and see the bailiff outside. They'll get you fixed up with your information on where to report to turn yourself in tomorrow. Now, Mr. Jacobs, I'm going to caution you. If you do not show up tomorrow to turn yourself in, a fugitive from justice warrant will be issued for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I understand. I don't plan on screwing this up.
Okay, and at that time, I will rescind this current sentencing, and you will be resentenced on all of these charges. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I understand that fully, wholeheartedly.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jacobs, you're free to head outside there, meet with the bailiff, and get ready to turn yourself in for tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Let's see. The next case I have on my docket here is State of San Andreas versus Lily Rolls. Prosecutor is going to be Mr. Russell Johnson. Defense attorney, is that Jerry Gallo? Am I reading that correctly? Mr. Gallo? Is there a Mr. Gallo in the courtroom? I'm unable to hear you, Mr. Gallo, if that's you in the...
I apologize, Your Honor. I apologize. Yeah, it's Callo, C-A-L-L-O.
Callow, okay. All right, and you're here representing Miss Rolls?
Yes, sir. She was unavailable to get out of jail at this time to attend court.
Okay. All right, Mr. Johnson, I'm showing here that Miss Rolls has 2 counts of grand theft auto, 2 counts of resisting arrest, and 1 count of evading law enforcement in a vehicle. Does that sound correct to you?
That does, Your Honor.
Hey, there's Ember Rose, everybody. What's going on? Good to see you. Roan Plays Games is here. Lee Green, what's
Well, Your
up?
Honor, I
JetBlue
did get
Pilot.
a chance to talk to Lily, and she is
Tanker,
willing
tanker.
to plead guilty on all charges.
All right, has she does she still plan on attending these anger management classes?
I'm not entirely sure about that because she's currently incarcerated.
What are her current charges? Do you know?
I'm not informed of that actually because I didn't handle that previous case.
Okay, I got you. All right, all right, so she just wanted you to appear on her behalf and enter a guilty plea?
Yes, sir. She said to plead guilty on all charges.
All right, well, what we'll do, I'll accept her plea of guilty. She's gonna be sentenced to 2 years in the Department of Corrections total. I'm gonna combine all of these charges. She'll serve 2 years in the Department of Corrections. Fine amount is going to be $22,000. That agreeable to you, Mr. Callow?
It is, Your Honor. Yes.
2 years. And how long has she been incarcerated for these other charges? Do you know?
I am unclear on that. When I
Ace
did
Pilot
speak with her,
2K7.
though, most recently,
Another one of
she
our
was
sponsors,
already
KUFFS, brother.
in jail, but I think she was in there for about a year.
Was she in there on these charges, or she's in there
No.
on some other charges?
It was on a different situation.
Okay, I got you. All right. Well, here's what I want to do. Get with Miss Rose at some point and inform the court as well as Mr. Russell here on what her current charges are, how much time that she served. I may apply these 2 years to time served on these other cases, depending on what they are, if she can get these fines paid within 90 days.
I understand.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for me, Mr. Callow?
No, I don't believe so at this time.
All right. Well, that'll be the order of the court. I will accept the guilty pleas on these. Sentence Miss Rose to 2 years in the Department of Corrections, and levy a fine of $22,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You are welcome, sir. Is that all agreeable to you, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honour, I would be willing to go with that deal. However, I would push for some kind of license restriction upon her release, considering the fact that it was evading a law enforcement vehicle and the fact that it was a stolen fire department vehicle.
Okay, I'm not sure what her other charges are. Let me see if I can find her in the computer system here. Okay, it looks like she doesn't have any other cases pending in this jurisdiction. There must be another jurisdiction that she's got these other cases pending. Tell you what we'll do. Since I can't really have much to do with those other charges, what we'll do is we'll do the 2 years on these charges. I also want to put a flag on her driver's license for as being known for evasion. Want to also put her on probation, supervised probation for 2 years. She'll need to check in with her probation officer once a month and inform them before she leaves the state. Does that sound good, Mr. Callow?
That sounds pretty good to me, indeed.
All right. Well, let's do that. So it'd be 2 years in prison, $22,000 fine, 2 years supervised probation, and she'll need to report to her probation officer once a month.
Okay, sounds good.
She's also, being on probation, make sure she understands she can be color coded. She could be called in for a P test.
Okay, I'll inform her.
All right, that's the order of the court. 2 years in prison, 2 years probation, $22,000 fine. Flag as a known evader on a driver's license. If there's any other issues with that, I'm going to revoke her driver's license, Mr. Callow. Also, she will be ordered to report to that probation officer at least once per month.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, that's it.
Thank you, Your Honour.
You are welcome. Let's see. I understand that Mr. Hamlin wasn't going to be able to make it to court tonight. I've got another case where he's the prosecutor. This State of San Andreas versus Vincent Boombots. Mr. Johnson, I believe you were going to serve as public defender on this case, correct?
Affirmative.
Okay. And I also show here that there's a plea deal pending. Mr. KUFFS, are you able to fill in as prosecutor on this case?
Yes, I can do that, Your Honour.
Okay. Gerald Porter, what's up? Good to see you. Macy, what it do? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me get my information pulled up over here on this plea bargain real quick. Let's see. Boombots. All right, Mr. Johnson has. I see here where part of the plea agreement is guilty plea on the kidnapping charge, which is a felony. Dropping the 2 counts of battery. Actually, I only see 1 count. There's only 1 count pending on my information here, unless that was transferred incorrectly to the court. Now I see 1 count of battery, 1 count of kidnapping. Yeah, it looks like the officer only wrote up 1 count of kidnapping.
Yes, Your Honour. Conferring with my records, I do see 1 count of kidnapping, 1 count of battery. I think that was a logistical issue on our side. Apologies for that.
Okay, no problem. So you want to drop the battery charge. I'll go ahead and notate that we're dropping 2 counts of battery just in case it's ever corrected at any point. And then pleading guilty on the kidnapping in exchange for 9 years, which has already been served. Am I correct there?
That is correct, Your Honour. We would like my client released on time served, as he has already been incarcerated for 9 years.
I got you. Okay. Mr. Koffs, you have any issues with that 9 years time served on the kidnapping?
No, not at all, Your Honour. I thought it was quite a reasonable request.
I mean, the maximum sentence is 12 years anyway.
Exactly, and since it's had to wait 9 years to get to trial, thought it was a fair deal.
All right, so here will be the order of the court. I'll accept this plea deal with a couple of minor revisions. I will drop the 2 counts of battery. I will find Mr. Boombot's guilty on the kidnapping, sentence him to 9 years time served with a $10,000 fine. However, he will serve the remainder of the maximum 12 years, so 3 years he will be on probation. During that time that he's on probation, if he's picked up any more, there won't be any other plea bargains accepted on any other arrests. Is that clear?
That is, Your Honour.
Pardon my tardiness. I had something in my eye.
Oh, no problem, Mr. Boombot. So here's what the order of the court's going to be. We're going to sentence you to 9 years time served on the felony kidnapping. I'll be dropping the 2 counts of battery. You won't be prosecuted on those. I'm going to levy a $10,000 fine for the kidnapping charge. And then you will be on probation for 3 years, at which time you may be contacted by your probation officer to, if you're color coded, to have to pee in a cup or otherwise take some kind of blood or alcohol test. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's fine. I ain't worried about any of that. I don't do none of that stuff.
Okay. All right, glad to hear. All right, well, I understand you've already served 9 years, correct, Mr. Broombots?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, as of today, you are free to go, Mr. Broombots. You do not have to report back to the Department of Corrections. We'll get that paperwork prepared for you. You'll need to meet with the bailiff outside and get that handled so that they're not looking for you back at Bolingbroke this evening. But you will be free to go today. However, you do have a $10,000 fine, and you'll still have 3 years probation, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's quite okay.
All right. Anybody got any questions on that one? Mr. Johnson or Mr. Koffs?
Negative, none from
Your
our
Honour.
end.
Mr. Boombots, you're clear on it all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there's no probation officer, unfortunately. All right, well, that's it for this case then. Next case is going to be State of San Andreas versus Rob Robertson. Mr. Koffs, you are the prosecutor on that case, and I show that the attorney of record for the defense is Reverend Al Sharkskin.
Present, Your Honor.
All right, good to see you as always, Mr. Sharkskin. Let's see. Got Rob Robertson. Well, this is quite the list of charges here as well. All right, so if I'm reading this correctly, we have 1 count of giving false ID to the police, 1 count of evading law enforcement in a vehicle, 1 count of assault on a public official, 1 count of robbery, 1 count of identity theft, 1 count of grand theft auto, and 1 count of receiving stolen property. Does that sound correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sharkskin, is your client, Mr. Robertson, in the courtroom today?
I do not see him, Your Honor. I did speak with him at length yesterday and the day before yesterday, but I do not see him here this evening. Oh, there. Well, yeah, have your seat right there, yo man. Have your seat right there. My client is present, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I see,
apologize.
I see here that the pending plea bargain that's on the table is to drop the charges of identity theft and receiving stolen property. Your client would enter a guilty plea for all remaining charges for a 10-year prison sentence with a $32,000 fine. Does that sound correct, Mr. Sharkskin?
Yes, sir. In the name of justice, this guy's got a lot of outstanding things. Loose ends, if you want to call it, he's been taken care of. We would just like to wrap all this up, get this gentleman incarcerated, get him serving a sentence so he can get back home to his family. He's tired of being on the lam, Your Honor.
I got you. So he bonded out that day. He hasn't been serving any time yet?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm not sure if that was a mistake on the city's part, but he was released.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Back
Checking.
into
Good to
the
see you,
public.
brother.
And I think that could have led, to him coming back out here doing some of this other stuff had he been rehabilitated at the time, but the city didn't seem fit at that time to keep him incarcerated.
I got you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of allowing people to bond out. I mean, until their case comes to court. I don't really want to crowd the courts with folks that haven't actually been found guilty yet. Or crowd the jail rather with folks that haven't been found guilty. So I'm good with that. Mr. KUFFS, is that your understanding? Pleading guilty to all charges, but dropping the identity theft and receiving stolen property, 10-year prison sentence, and a $32,000 fine.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, I've got some serious issues with this case. Mr. Robertson, I want you to listen real closely, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're charged with assaulting a paramedic and taking his medical bag. On top of all this other that we've got going on here, I'm inclined to decline this plea bargain and have you stand trial, sir. However, since this has been worked out, I will entertain this plea bargain. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you ever come back into this courtroom again with assault on a paramedic, there will be no plea bargains accepted. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay. So I'll accept this plea bargain. We will sentence Mr. Robertson to 10 years in the Department of Corrections at Bolingbroke. I'll levy a fine of $32,000. Do we know, Mr. KUFFS, was there any medical bills that the paramedic had to pay?
I'm not aware of any at this time, Your Honor. He is here in court if you'd like to speak with him.
Who's that, Mr. Alphonse Jackson?
That is, sir.
That would be me, Your Honor.
You mind stepping up to this front podium here for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Sounds like we've got a fire hydrant issue outside.
You got a leak?
Yep. So, Alphonse, how bad were your injuries, sir?
Your Honor, I stopped for a small break. In that time, he walked up behind me, gave me a large hit to the head. I was unconscious for approximately 15 minutes. In that time, medical staff rendered aid to me, and I was able to leave the scene. I, however, did sustain medical call-out fees, which were covered by the San Andreas Fire Department, as I was on active duty at the time. I believe those bills are roughly $5,000.
Okay.
But I can have that looked into and have that re-delivered to the court through my chief.
Okay, that sounds good. Is that what happened to your face there?
No, that is another condition.
Okay, unrelated to this case.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. All right. Well, the order of you're free to go sit back down, Mr. Alphonse.
Your
I
Honor.
appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry for your injuries there, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the order of the court is going to be we'll drop the false ID and the receiving stolen property charges, and we'll find him guilty on the rest of these charges. Levy a 10-year prison sentence, $32,000 fine, plus restitution and whatever amount was out of pocket for the paramedic that he had to pay for his own medical bills. He believes it's $5,000. Could be a little less, could be a little more. So I'm not going to put an exact dollar amount on it now until we get that concrete record in. That's going to be sent over to Mr. KUFFS' office. We'll forward that over to you, Mr. Sharkskin. So it'll be $32,000 fine plus restitution for the medical bills. Does that make sense? Reverend Sharkskin?
That's yeah, so that's
okay.
I'm okay with that as well.
All right, so now the fine is payable to the court. The restitution can be paid through the DA's office, which will then be forwarded to the paramedic to pay back his medical bills. I'm glad you're in a good mood there, Keegan. So that'll be the order of the court. 10 years in prison, dropping the ID theft and receiving stolen property. Guilty on all other charges, $32,000 fine plus restitution for medical bills.
Is there any way that I could apologize to the paramedic?
That's up to your attorney and whether he wants you to speak on that or not. But you could come up to the podium and turn around and apologize to him. I don't want you walking over to him.
Is it okay, Mr. Sarksian?
Yeah, I believe I trust there's enough law enforcement in here in case something goes south.
I just want to apologize to the paramedic. I was going through a rough time in my life, and I'm trying to change my life around. This seems to be a huge eye-opener. I'm sorry.
That brought a tear to my eye. I'm crying. Let the record show I'm crying in court.
Okay, Mr. Sharkskin, I'll sure notate that on the record here, sir. All right, so that's it for that case. Mr. Robertson, you'll need to report to the bailiff outside. You're going to be transported to Bolingbroke tomorrow morning. Do you understand? Well, tomorrow,
yes, sir,
tomorrow evening. I'm sorry. Tomorrow evening, you'll be transported to Bolingbroke.
Okay, I understand.
All right, so get your affairs cleared up. If you fail to show up to be transported to Bolingbroke, fugitive from justice warrant is going to be issued, and we may very well rescind this sentence and hold a trial on the full set of charges. You understand?
I understand.
All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow, sir.
All right.
Hey, Nicholas Peel, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. All right, gentlemen, let's see. Next on my docket, I see one Mr. Bo Puke. Am I reading that correctly?
Okay.
That's correct, y'all. On the Bo Puke. It could be French Pouquet, but I think it's Puke.
I got you. Okay. Mr. Hamlin was the prosecutor on this case. Who was planning on filling in for him? Has somebody else taken that?
Your Honor, Mr. Hamlin asked me to step in for this case.
Okay, and Mr. Sharkskin, were you going to be representing Mr. Pouquet?
Yes, sir. I will be representing Mr. Bo Bouquet here.
Thank you,
on,
sir. I appreciate it. I'm
KUFFS
doing good, Nicholas. Okay, all right, and he's that's Mr. Is it pronounced Pouquet or Puke?
It's puke.
Yeah, I stand corrected here in court, Your Honor. The
O-
record show that.
Okay. All right, I understand there's a plea deal pending on this one as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have he's got some several outstanding cases all the way back to last year, early last year. It's time for him to pay the piper, Your Honor. So we've agreed to plead guilty in all 3 cases, serve 2 years if they'll drop on the 1 count of a felony evading, reckless operation, and speeding. We're also requesting that his vehicle be released to his uncle. What your uncle name is, boy? Jesse?
Oh yeah, my uncle's name is Josie.
Josie. Okay, yeah. His car been impounded, and they need that on account of, they need to go get groceries, and they only got a little old beat up pickup truck. Don't go very far.
Okay, I got you. All right, so I see that there's 5 charges on here, but the plea deal is all 3 cases being combined. What is it we're wanting to drop here?
Well, we'll just want to plead guilty to 1 felony evading, 1 reckless operation, and 1 speeding. Basically, the charges in all the cases under records 4474, 4742, 4799, basically the same charges, just multiple. But I feel some of them so old, we didn't know if they would have the witnesses here. The prosecution didn't know if they could prove all that from back then. So we just got together and come up with a plan we thought would do justice on both sides, Your Honor.
Oh boy.
All right, so we're talking about 1 count of reckless driving, keeping 1 count of reckless evading of law enforcement, and keeping the 1 count of evading law enforcement in a vehicle and dropping everything else. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, effectively, sir. Just trying to clear the docket again, and just get justice served on both sides so he can come. He's still young, he a young, strapping man. He work on a farm. He help his family. He got an old grandpa and a big old pretty niece and all that. And, he just
Oh,
need to
shit
give him
happens there,
time to
country.
get back
Shit
and help
happens.
on the farm.
I know you had to work.
I do. I work on a farm.
He worked on a farm.
All right. Mr. Johnson, are you good with that plea bargain, sir?
Your Honor, I would be inclined to accept that deal.
Okay.
I would also agree to release the vehicle, as I don't feel like the family should be punished for his crimes.
I got you. Let me tally up what these fines would be here real quick. Has he been out on bond, Mr. Sharkskin, or has he been in jail since this happened?
No, he's been out of jail, sir. I will say, he's been kind of keeping out of trouble, been keeping a low profile for almost 2 months now. He does understand the seriousness of these charges. And then on account y'all had his car too, so he couldn't go nowhere.
Oh yeah, I've been keeping a real low profile. Real low.
You also jam out there at your farm and eggs and such.
Oh yeah, yeah, we have.
RC Aviation, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Marshall Lang, what is up? You've been to court twice. Well, I hope you don't have to go anymore. Jesus. All right, Mr. Puke,
Yes, sir.
I am I want to chastise you just a bit here with this reckless evading of law enforcement, sir.
Okay.
You understand that when you're running from law enforcement, you could run over and kill other people.
Well, I really didn't know they were back there because I was tuning up my car, and I was listening to how awesome the sound of the engine was.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
I had no idea they were behind me, and I was just I was just driving really fast on the dirt roads.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you, Mr. Puke. If you come back before this court with some type of super reckless behavior in the future,
Uh-huh.
I'm probably not going to be nearly as lenient as what you're getting today.
Well, I appreciate it, sir. I'll try my best to stay out of trouble.
I know, that's hilarious. Hey, there's Megan D Gaming, everybody. What's going on, Megan?
I did have a heart-to-heart with this gentleman yesterday over a cup of tea at the bean machine, and we cried and hugged, and I think he understands what he's done and how stupid, reckless he's been as a young offender.
Okay, I got you. So, what did he? Was the tea too hot or something? Is that why he's talking like that?
No, sir. He's got these ball strangling jeans on. He wears.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Okay, so if my notes are correct then, and I've tallied all of this up correctly, I'm seeing where it's going to be 2 years in Bolingbroke and a $21,000 fine.
Your Honor.
Yes.
If it may be possible, given just a reflection back there, he said he wasn't aware of the people on the street whilst he was driving recklessly. Given light to that information, I feel like he should resit some kind of formal driving lessons of some kind, and maybe some kind of provision on that license, as I feel like that is grossly disgusting that he wasn't aware of there being generalized civilians on a public street that he was recklessly evading law enforcement on.
Well, it was a dirt road.
Okay. All right. Here's what we'll do then. We'll do 2 years in Bolingbroke. Mr. Puke, you're to turn yourself in tomorrow for transport to Bolingbroke and begin serving your sentence. Going to levy a fine of $21,000. Once your 2 years is up, Mr. Puke, I'm going to order that you attend a driving school. Those costs usually, about $300 or less.
Do you want me to give the lessons on how to drive?
No, I need you to take lessons on how to drive, sir. On how to drive safely, rather.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you know from looking at your charges, you know how to drive, but you only know how to drive like a bat out of hell. I want you to learn how to drive like a normal person on the normal roads. Okay.
I guess I'll have to.
I would be willing to help him drive his car, take some lessons. My car needs to go in the shop, but if it'll come out in about 2.5 weeks, I take him out there in the alley out there and teach him how to, go forward and backward if the court please.
I got you. Okay. I'm going to also order that the defendant's vehicle be released to family. However, before that vehicle is released, any impound fees or anything like that's going to need to be paid. You understand that, Mr. Sharkskin?
Yes, sir. We do.
Okay. Any impound fees are separate from this $21,000 fine. Do we know where it's impounded at currently? Is it being held in the police impound lot, or is it at Mosley's or Hayes or what?
I think it's down there. I think they got that in the police impound out there, Your Honor.
Okay, well, yeah, there's gonna be some fees for it, but it probably won't be as expensive as the storage at Hayes or Mosley's then. So they'll need to pay that directly to the clerk there at the impound lot. And what'd you say his uncle's name was? Josie?
Yeah, Josie. What his name is, young man?
Yeah. It's Josie Puke.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be the order of the court. 2 years in prison to begin serving tomorrow for transport to Bolingbroke. $21,000 fine. Vehicle to be released to the subject's uncle after those fees are paid, and then after release from Bolingbroke, you'll need to attend at least a 1 week driving school. Okay.
Can I attend the driving school while I'm serving my time?
No, they don't really have that out there, sir.
Oh,
They're not going to let you get in a vehicle out there at Bolingbroke, sir.
Oh, all right.
It's a prison.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so that's it. Any other questions on that, Mr. Puke, Mr. Sharkskin, or Mr. Johnson?
I
know
don't
your
have any
authority.
questions.
What was that, Mr. Pugh?
I don't have any more questions.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for this case. Y'all are free to step back. I know, J-Pack is hilarious.
Gotta get this
Mr.
loose
Johnson, it
again.
looks like you are,
I gotta go shopping.
looks like you're the prosecutor on this next, I mean, you're the defense attorney on this next case, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Jack KUFFS is going to be the prosecutor. This
Will
is a
that be for
case,
John Herbert?
yes, this is a case for, state of, San Andreas versus John Herbert. There's quite the number of charges here. Let's see, do we have...
Mr. Herbert will be here in a second. I've got my legal associate escorting him here.
I got you. Let's see. How many officers do we have on this? We've got, I see one from Commissioner Granley. Commissioner Granley in the courtroom. I see one for Sergeant Carlson with the Sheriff's Department. Sergeant Carlson in the courtroom.
Yes.
All right, and then I see another one from Lieutenant O'Connor. Lieutenant O'Connor's not in the courtroom. And I've also got a letter that was sent to the court
Commissioner Granell's here too.
from Dr. Jagdeep Patel. Who else did you say was here?
Commissioner Granley just walked in.
Okay. All right, so what let me look over my notes on this one real quick. I don't see any pending plea agreement on this one.
Negative, Your Honor. We would like to plead mentally insane on those charges on the grounds of Mr. Herbert experiencing severe unmanaged Alzheimer's disease. I have conferred with Dr. Patel, Chief Medical Officer at St. Pierce Medical Hospital, and he is under the same impression that he has severely unmanaged Alzheimer's disease and has since begun a regime of medication and has now been able to present himself to court today. And since starting the medication, Mr. Herbert has had a turnaround, and initially from our initial conversations we had, he has changed dramatically as a person, in my opinion.
Okay, this is Mr. John Herbert, this over here next to you now.
Yes, it is.
Good evening, Mr. Herbert.
How are you, Judge?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I feel a little bit better.
Okay. I like your suit there. That's pretty nice.
Well, thank you.
So you've met with your attorney, and what he's sharing seems to match up with what you're understanding, sir.
Yes.
Okay. You feel like your representation by your attorney has been adequate?
He's an amazing man. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. All right. Mr. KUFFS, according to my notes here, I'm seeing we've got, y'all feel free to hold on to something if you need to. I'm showing 1 count of reckless driving causing injury, 1 count of lewd conduct in public, 1 count of trespass, 1 count of speeding 15 over, 1 count of reckless driving, 2 counts of driving without a license, 1 count of expired or invalid registration. Does that sound about right?
It does, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Herbert, do you have a driver's license now?
Yes. I've had a driver's license for quite some time. I don't know where those other charges came from.
Okay, the charges for driving without a license.
Your
Yeah.
Honor, that case was presented by Chief Wilson of the LSPD. There isn't appearing to be a report backing up that, nor officer signature regarding that fine. Mr. Herbert has maintained a license, from what I've been able to see, for many years, outdating that charge.
Also, I don't understand the 15 over. I have a hard time driving fast. Sometimes I go about maybe 10 miles an hour, but I take back roads.
All right. Well, I don't want you to testify against yourself, there, Mr. Herbert. King Julian, what's going on? Good to see you. So, Mr. Johnson, it's your hope that the court would accept a plea of not guilty by reason of mental defect, correct?
That is, Your Honor.
And you say he's I mean, looking at this letter from Dr. Patel, he has quite the list of medications here.
Yes, Your Honor.
His medical conditions on this letter are listed as Alzheimer's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, cardiac stent, cataracts, and chronic pain.
Yes, Your Honor.
Current medications are galantamine, 16 milligrams, sildenafil, Viagra, 100 milligrams as required. Holy shit. Rosuvastatin, 40 milligram. I can't even pronounce half of these.
Yes, Your Honor. The next one is clopidogrel, 75 milligrams. That is a blood thinner to help with the cardiac stent. The other one is glycerin trinitrate, which is GTN spray for heart conditions. Aspirin, 100 milligrams. Acetaminophen, 200 milligrams. And pregabalin twice a day, which is 75 milligrams.
What's the pregabalin for?
That is for his arthritis. It is a nerve pain medication.
Okay. And the galantamine is for what?
The galantamine is used recently to help treat his Alzheimer's disease. Since commencing that a few weeks ago, he has been able to dramatically take a step for the better, I would say. He was previously receiving care from his son, who wasn't able to engage with him
good.
in recent times. Since touching base with him, I have referred him on to Old Todgett Assisted Living, where he's been getting support daily. It is a communal area, so he does have autonomy and his own freedoms, and he is able to get routine assessments from occupational therapy about what he needs in the home. I'd also like to advise the court that there is a large number of charges that have dated across many years for this client. And I just feel like with this client, he's gone through a really rough patch. And I don't think that some of the law enforcement officers that have interacted with him have really worked out why. Because a lot of these people have come up time and time again, but yet they haven't seemed to connect the dots that maybe there's something more going on, and they just appear to be slapping
Hey,
more
Captain
charges
Bridges,
on my
what's
client.
up? I'm doing good. How you doing?
So really, I feel like it's a bit of a failure from the state where they should have safeguarded him. I do see he was transported once by fire department to hospital, but then he refused treatment at the hospital from what I can see here.
All right, what is the rosuvastatin, or how do you pronounce that?
Rosuvastatin.
Yeah, what is that for?
Cholesterol.
Okay.
That is cholesterol. That is used in conjunction with the cardiac stent, as advised by Dr. Patel. And they are used so he doesn't have a further heart attack.
All right. Mr. KUFFS, what are your feelings on this plea of not guilty by reason of mental defect, sir? Do you have any objections to that?
I do, Your Honour. I feel with the multiple charges that have been brought against him in the past, would like to see a minimum of 5 years suspended licence and a fine of court's choosing.
Your Honour, I would also like to advise the court that my client doesn't have the means to be able to afford a large fine of that amount. It would have to be something minor at best, as my client doesn't have a whole lot of money, unfortunately.
This assisted living place you're speaking of, do they have transportation available for residents there?
They do, but it's only for the more progressed residents who are unable to transport themselves.
Okay.
Also, Your Honour, on time was if his license is reinstated, would also like to have some provisions put on there, as in he can't drive at night, can't drive outside of city limits, and also weather dependent as well.
Your Honour, I also spoke to Dr. Patel on this matter. Now, I did advise him that he has got several legal charges pending and not to provide an overall definitive answer. However, I did recommend that he assess his ability to drive under the current medications that he's on and current health conditions. Now, he did write a letter stating that Mr. Herbert, in his best health condition, should
Oh,
only
sweet,
ever
Captain.
drive under daylight hours, not in inclement weather, or without taking his prior prescription medication, which has been instrumental in getting my client here today and getting him up on the straight and narrow.
Do any of these medications have side effects that would restrict vision or balance or coordination control or anything like that?
Your Honor, the only one that would potentially have that is the pregabalin. As it's only a low dose and it's only twice a day, which would be morning and night, I don't believe that would be an overall weighing factor on his vision or cognitive impairments.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'm inclined to do. I'm inclined to. I am not going to accept the not guilty by reason of mental defect defense in this case. Although I do understand that he has some possible mental impairments. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to defer prosecuting this case. I'm going to basically retire these to the file. They'll be no prost. However, in exchange for that no prost, what I am going to do is I'm going to suspend Mr. Herbert's license for a period of 90 days. During that 90 days, he's going to have to go take some type of a driving course that's going to be graded, and that grade needs to be turned back into the court. If he does not pass that driving course, then his license is going to be revoked permanently.
Yes, Your Honor. I would also advise the court that he is undergoing a minor cataract surgery coming up. And the Dr. Patel has recommended that he can't drive 30 days post-surgery, which his surgery is currently scheduled for the 22nd of February this year.
Okay. Well, we'll do the 90-day suspension on the license. But now that suspension can lift after 90 days, pending the fact that he needs to take this driving course and pass it. If due to his surgery he's unable to take that driving course within the 90 days, that license suspension would continue past the 90 days until such time as he's passed that driving test.
Your Honor, where do I go for this this test?
Your attorney can get you fixed up with that.
Right.
Yeah, but you worry about that after your cataract surgery. It doesn't have to be done right away. Is Sergeant Carlson in the courtroom? Sergeant Carlson,
Yes, Your
with the
Honor.
Sheriff's Department. Can you step forward, sir?
Up here, sir.
All right, now I'm looking at the record here. I see where you have you submitted evidence of a printout from your radar showing 79 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone, and that's at which time he crashed into another vehicle and was swerving between lanes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. See this, Mr. Johnson, is why I can't let Mr. Herbert just go free on these charges, because the next time he's back out on the road, it's my responsibility to protect the citizens of the state of San Andreas and to administer the laws fairly. Most other folks, if they had this length of charges here, they'd be looking at some jail time. So I'm good with with retiring these to the file and not prosecuting these charges, but he is going to have to go through this driving course after his cataract surgery. His license is going to be suspended until that is finished. If he does not pass that course satisfactorily, his license is going to be revoked. If he comes back into this courtroom again for evading law enforcement or causing injury in a vehicle, I'm pretty sure he's probably going to lose his license at that point. Now, Mr. Herbert, once you do get your license back, if you get your license back from passing this test, I am going to place some restrictions on your driving. All right?
Okay.
Those restrictions are going to be, once all this is said and done and you've passed this test and your attorney's told you that your license has been reinstated and you've verified that your license has been reinstated, you are only to operate a motor vehicle during the daylight hours. The moment it gets dark, if you're too far away from home, you park that car and you call somebody to come and pick you up. You are not to operate a motor vehicle at night or in poor weather conditions, including fog, rain, snow, anything like that. You also must take your prescribed medications. If you've missed any doses of your medications, you do not need to be driving a vehicle. You understand those requirements?
Yeah, I believe that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to retire these charges to the. Oh, you're free to step back, Sergeant Carson. I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to retire these charges to the file. That means they can be resurrected if Mr. Herbert comes back before this court for similar charges. Make sure you explain that to him, okay, Mr. Johnson?
I will, Your Honor.
I'm not going to prosecute him this time. We're going to suspend this license for 90 days, pending a completion of a driving test satisfactorily with passing grades. If he comes back in here with anything similar to this, we're going to bring all this back up, and it's not gonna go well. I can't have somebody out there that's going to kill somebody on these roads because, regardless of their mental state. Okay?
Your Honor, I agree with that, and I thank you for your leniency in this decision.
All right. And until then, Mr. Herbert, I suggest you get with the folks at your retirement community, let them know that you're no longer allowed to drive. If they need a letter from the court, we can get one over there to them. They can get you back and forth to any doctor's appointments that you have. If that's not possible, then the state does have, what is our public transit for the elderly called here? What is it? Dustbusters? Is that what it's called?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Yeah, I think we've got a Dustbusters group that can come around. They're a volunteer group. They'll come around and take you to your doctor's appointments and things. All right, so that's the order of the court. Retiring these to the file. Suspension of driver's license for 90 days. License cannot be reinstated until such time as the driving test has been passed satisfactorily. And then we also have those requirements of not driving at night and not driving in inclement weather, and that you must take your medications if you're going to be driving. You understand that, Mr. Herbert?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. You're free to go, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. KUFFS, and it looks like Mr. Sharkskin are the attorneys on this next case here. Going to be State of San Andreas versus William Davey. William Davey in the courtroom.
William Davey.
I think
Call
he's out.
William Davey.
I think he's out in the entryway out there. Wow. This is your client, Mr.
Yeah,
Sharkskin, William
You got
Davey.
dressed up for court, I see.
Yeah,
Well,
thank. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah,
wearing
these
your
are my nice clothes.
yeah, thank you for wearing your clean wife beater to court there, Mr. Davy.
Oh, no problem. I you know, nothing but respect here. Nothing but respect.
Have your seat here.
Oh, good guy.
Lord of mercy.
Woo. All right, y'all. This dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, so let's see. If I'm reading this correctly, I'm seeing 2 counts of Grand Theft Auto, 2 counts of reckless evading of law enforcement, 1 count of kidnapping, 2 counts of resisting arrest, 1 count of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of driving under the influence, 2 counts of driving without a valid driver's license, and 1 count of evading law enforcement in a vehicle.
I think you need to get ready to retire.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever
That's
thought
what,
of
that's
retiring?
what my papers is too.
Those wrinkles on your face. The amount of wrinkles is probably your age, huh?
I also see 1 count of illegal window tint, 1 count of reckless driving causing injury.
Yes, sir. That is among the litany of charges against my client.
Yes, sir. You've been quite the busy man there, Mr. Davy.
Well, you know, I mean,
Don't
I'm
testify
trying
against
to
yourself,
clean
sir.
up.
I got
What's
you.
that?
Don't testify against yourself, sir.
I know.
All right, I believe there's a plea bargain pending on this one as well. Let me read over this. Zach Fortnite and more too. What is going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Let's see what we got here. We got William Davy. Holy shit, this is a lot of charges. Guilty plea for reduced sentence of 20 years and suspended license of 20 years. All right, so if I'm reading this plea deal correctly, Mr. Sharkskin, your client intends to enter a plea of guilty on all charges in exchange for a reduced sentence of only 20 years and a suspended license of 20 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now that's going to be spanning 4 cases. Record number 4757, 4364, 4047, 3704.
All right, what about 4670 and 3894, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. I didn't get them in my notes. I only have the 4 cases here. Total up to about 50, 60 years.
All right, well, 4670 and 3894 are the 2 that you don't have.
Yes, sir.
4670 is from October of 2022, reckless driving causing injury in a green Honda Accord. This was entered by Sergeant Carlson with the Sheriff's Department. And then 3894 from February. This is an older one from, it looks like February the 8th, 2022. Lieutenant Deputy James Clemens with the Sheriff's Department. It was a failure to stop, but the citation was only issued for the license not being valid. It was newly purchased and not yet registered. I'm good with not pursuing that last one there. Since it was newly done. That's more or less like a fix-it ticket. I'm good with the plea deal, Mr. Koffs. Are you?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, we can clear all of this up with the guilty plea. 20 years in Bolingbroke and a suspended license for those 20 years. Now, let me add this up here because I'm seeing 6 years for the Grand Theft Auto, 6 years for reckless evading of law enforcement, so that's 12 years. Kidnapping is another 12 years. That's 24 years. 25 years, that would be with the resisting arrest. 26. 27. 28. I'm only coming up with 28 years maximum sentence here. Does that seem to be correct, Mr. Koffs? Am I tallying that up correctly?
I believe so, Your Honor.
I mean, the 2 Grand Theft Autos, if we did max on those, would be 6 years. And then another 6 years for reckless evading. That's 12. Then 12 years on the kidnapping. So that's 24 years. I'm gonna amend this this plea bargain, this plea deal here. Let me know what you gentlemen think about this. I'm inclined to reduce the sentence to 20 years in custody of the department, 15 years in custody of the Department of Corrections, with a suspended license of 15 years to be run during that time frame. Is that agreeable to you, gentlemen?
Well, feels like we hit the lottery over here. On
Excalibur, what's going on? Well, I mean, 24 years with good time. Even if I was to give him his 24 years, he'd probably end up getting out in about 15 anyway. So we'll just do 15 straight time.
Yeah,
we'll accept that, Your Honor. Now, let me ask a question. Being that we had agreed to a 20-year suspended license, can it also be reduced to match the 15-year incarceration?
Yeah, well,
by the time he gets out, he's going to be 50.
I got you.
And he's going to need to pick up his life from nothing again, and we feel that him not having transportation could hamper that.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. I would do the suspended license for the 15 years that he's serving. But now I'm also going to put him on probation for 5 years once he gets out. So he'll need to stay out of trouble for 5 years after he gets out. We don't want to see him back in here with these kind of charges again. Mr. Davey, what I'm inclined to do here, just so you understand, is instead of 20 years, you'll only serve 15 years, sir.
Oh, yeah, all right.
All right, your license will be suspended during that 15 years.
Oh, man.
So, well, you're going to be locked up anyway. It's not like you'll be driving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so once you get out, you're going to be on probation for 5 years. You're going to have to report to a probation officer. They may show up at your house.
Okay.
Do you have any drug or alcohol habits, sir?
No, not anymore. I don't. Nope.
Okay. I do suggest that you seek some, maybe do some meetings while you're incarcerated or whatever, because once you get out and you're on probation, you're subject to being color coded, and you may have to submit to a blood or alcohol test at any time.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that. Yep.
All right. Now, and what'll happen is if you're revoked, if your probation is revoked, you're going to serve whatever's left of that 5 years back in Bolingbroke. Okay?
Well, hell, I mean, I'm already going to spend 15 years here. I don't need to go there anymore.
I'm with you there. Now, what about assets, sir? Do you have any money with which to pay any fines? Because
Man,
these
I don't have
charges,
nothing right now.
These charges have quite a large amount of fines, sir. There was no mention in the plea deal about any of these fines and how they were going to be handled.
I kind of figured it was going to be around, I don't know, like $800.
No, sir, definitely not $800. You're looking at 40, 50.
$50?
No, you're looking at over $50,000 worth of fines, sir.
Well, that's a lot more than $800.
It definitely is. How do you plan on getting that paid, sir? You got any assets that can be sold or what?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I could probably work it off. I'm good for it.
I'm sure you are, sir. So here's going to be the order of the court then. 15 years in custody of the Department of Corrections, 15 years suspended license, 5 years probation. I'm going to levy a $20,000 fine. So you're going to have that 5 year probationary period to get that $20,000 fine paid.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I did speak with the local Habitat for Humanity who does work with offenders, and they have agreed upon his release that if he stays clean, that they would semi-employ him so he can earn some sort of a living, maybe make a little money, pay off some fines. And then, of course, if he stays clean for a period of 1 year, they will hire him full-time at about $20,000 a year to start. So it's not all hopeless.
You doing
from
okay,
what I
Dustin K?
understand, If he could just stay clean.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be the order of the court. $20,000 fine, 15 years in Bolingbroke, 15 years suspended license, 5 years probation. You've got 5 years to pay that $20,000 fine back, sir. I'm going to caution you though. You know, there is a possibility of extensions on those fines. Don't go out there and do anything stupid trying to get the money to pay those fines and end up back in jail, Mr. Davey.
Yeah, I know, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, with that being said, sir, you need to report to the bailiff outside. You're going to come back here again tomorrow to turn yourself in. You have until tomorrow to get your affairs in order. Report back here for your transport to Bolingbroke, sir.
Okay.
All right.
I come here, or I go over to another police station, or do I go to Bolingbroke itself?
Your attorney will let you know, sir.
Oh.
You'll be transported to Bolingbroke more than likely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
All right. You got anything else, Mr. Koffs, on this one?
I know that was all, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sharkskin, you good with that?
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Davey, you're free to go until tomorrow.
All right.
If you don't show up for transport to Bolingbroke, sir, we're going to issue a fugitive justice warrant against you. You understand that?
Yep. I understand.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, that's it for that case then. Let's see, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Sharkskin, I have listed as attorneys on this next case. It's going to be the State of San Andreas versus Jerome Williams. Is there Jerome Williams in the courtroom?
Calling Jerome Williams.
He's probably out there at the snack machine at the moment.
Would you like me to go see out there, you old Warner?
No, we can give it just a moment. You met with this client, Mr. Sharkskin?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have spoken directly by telephone.
Okay, because I'm showing there's also a plea deal pending on this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is
Oh, there it is right there. Go in there and have your old seat there. You get that suit at the men's warehouse.
Let's see. Do we have any officers that are still in the courtroom that are waiting to testify? Who's this officer on the front row here?
I think that Carlson.
Yeah, that's Sergeant
Okay.
Carlson.
All right, you don't have any other cases that I know of here, sir. So you're free to stay or you're free to go, whichever you so choose there, Sergeant.
Okay.
No other officers are waiting to testify that might need to be released. All right, good deal. Let me look over the case here. Mr. Johnson and Mr. Sharkskin, I'm showing that we have against Mr. Williams here 1 count of possession of narcotics while armed, 1 count of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of possession of controlled substance with intent to distribute, 4 counts of grand theft auto, 1 count of reckless evading of law enforcement, 1 count of robbery, 1 count of carjacking, 1 count of brandishing or displaying a deadly weapon, 1 count of felon carrying a concealed weapon without a permit. Okay, that was it. I thought I was going to have to keep going there. Does that sound about right?
That made me tired, Your Honor. Yes, sir. That's all.
That sounds right, Your Honor.
All right, and the plea deal here is to plead guilty on all counts except the robbery in exchange for 20 years in Bolingbroke. Does that sound about right?
Yes, Your Honor. It appears the robbery and carjacking have been a double charge.
The robbery and the carjacking were a double charge?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We're,
Yes, sir.
we've come to the agreement that we're dropping the robbery in order for a guilty plea.
Okay, so it was a carjacking, and that was the item that was robbed. There was nothing else robbed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Williams, without testifying against yourself, are you employed, sir? I can't hear you, Mr. Williams. You're gonna have to speak up, sir.
He's
Yeah,
a little soft spoken, Your Honor.
yeah, you're gonna have to kind of shout in here, sir. Do you know if he's employed, Mr. Sharkskin?
Can you hear me now, Your Honor?
Yes, I can, Mr. Williams.
I apologize. I'm not employed, sir.
Okay, well, that's an awfully nice suit right there.
I got an uncle that hooked me up.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Williams, I see there's a plea deal pending here for pleading guilty on all of these charges except the robbery. And then in exchange for that, you'll serve 20 years in custody of the Department of Corrections. Is that your understanding, sir? Mr. Williams?
Yes, Your Honor. I was hoping that we could talk about that Grand Theft Auto. I didn't do that many Grand Theft Autos, sir.
I see 4 of them here. How many do you think you did?
As I spoke to my representation here, sir, there was 3 Grand Theft Autos and a carjacking, sir.
Okay. All right, so if we drop 1 count of Grand Theft Auto and 1 count of robbery, and then you'll plead guilty on everything else in exchange for a 20-year sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I love this court thing, Stacey. I love it. Okay, so here's my concern, Mr. Sharkskin, is that you know, we've got drug charges, weapon charges, carjacking. You know, this is quite the trifecta of dangerous criminal that you're representing here, sir. And how old are you right now, Mr. Williams?
I'm 22, Your Honor.
All right, so when you get out, you'll be 42 years old.
Oh my.
You got any children, sir? That you know of?
I don't think so.
What about you, Mr. Sharkskin? Never mind, don't answer that, sir. Don't answer that, sir.
Wait, so I'm in here for that long?
Dumbass out there. Talk about that. You're lucky they don't electrocute you.
All right, so I'll accept this plea deal. We'll drop the 1 robbery charge, the 1 Grand Theft Auto charge. I'll sentence you, Mr. Williams, to 20 years in the Department of Corrections. However, I will qualify you for good behavior. So if you get in there and you take some of those classes, maybe get a trade while you're in there, all of that stuff will help reduce your time. You could get out in as soon as 14 and a half years, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If you take those courses there now, I'm going to caution you of this though, sir. If you get in there and you fall in with the wrong folks, and you're caught with any kind of narcotics, these are narcotics charges that you've got here. If you're caught with any narcotics while you're in prison, So you know there's going to be additional charges, and you can be looking at more jail time added on, right?
Yes, I understand. The narcotics was a misunderstanding, Your Honor. I'm not about that life, sir.
Okay. I don't know how it can be a misunderstanding when you have that large of amount in there, but don't testify against yourself, sir. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 20 years in state prison custody. I'm gonna levy a fine of. Did you say you had? Do you have children, Mr. Williams?
No, sir.
Okay, you don't have any children.
No kids.
All right, I got you.
Pretty good at getting out of there.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do a $10,000 fine. We're gonna do 20 years in prison, 5 years probation. Mr. Williams, you're to report back here tomorrow to turn yourself in to be transported to Bolingbroke.
Your Honor, could you explain to my client what concurrently means?
Concurrent means everything's going to be served all at once, right? So all of your charges are going to be combined. If we space these out, just for example, Mr. Williams, the just one count of carjacking, you could serve 9 years in prison. Well, rather than adding all these up and being like, okay, that's 42 years, we're going to run all of these together so that you're only going to serve 20. And like I told you, if you take advantage of some of these courses and some of these good time programs that they have in there, you may be able to get out early. You know, you can go in there, you get your law degree, you can become ordained like Mr. Sharkskin here. You know, all those courses you take and the different things that you participate in there, you know, the drug and alcohol rehabilitation programs, all that stuff will help reduce some of your time a little bit.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sharkskin, I'm going to ask that you check in on this guy from time to time. He's kind of a young fella. He's going to need somebody older to kind of give him some pointers there. You mind trying to visit him once every 2 or 3 months or so, see how he's doing over there?
No, it'd be my pleasure, Your Honor.
All right, now, Mr. Williams, I really don't want to see you back in this courtroom, sir. Once you get out, I hope you clean your act up.
Yes, Your Honor. As a first time offender, I just want to say I don't plan to do this again, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, you racked up quite a bit of charges for the first time.
It was a very bad day, Your Honor. I apologize.
This was all in one day?
I'll let my attorney.
Okay, yeah, don't testify against yourself, sir. All right, so that's going to be the order of the court then. 20 years in prison with credit for any good time programs that are participated in. We're going to do a $10,000 fine, which will be due and payable at some point after you get out, sir. Turn yourself back in here to be transported to Bolingbroke tomorrow. Anybody have any questions on that?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Can I pay a higher fine or something to get out faster?
No, shut up. Just saying. Let's make a deal.
All right, I've got all my notes transferred over here. So do we have any other cases that are pending that I may not have called?
Not from me, Your Honor.
None from me, Your Honor. My docket is now clear.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go give all these notes to the court clerk, Listerina Colgate. She'll be out front for anybody that is here waiting to pay fines and enter any guilty pleas. She will meet y'all out front here in just a little bit. Counselors, do counselors, y'all don't have anything else at the moment?
Negative. I'm clear on my side.
Negative, Your Honor.
All right, sounds good. So like I said, I'm gonna go get Miss Colgate. She'll be coming out here in just a moment. She'll take any fines and stuff out there at the desk in the lobby. That's gonna do it for this session of court. Court is adjourned until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Goodbye, Your Honor.
See you next time, Mr. Sharkskin.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you for your hospitality.
All right, folks, that is gonna do it for the court stream. Hey, Keysign, what's going on? So we got through all of our cases tonight. I am gonna run back there. I am gonna change out into Listerine and Colgate. Let's see, how long have we been going? About an hour and a half. Yeah, that's about what I'd planned. We're gonna go ahead and let these folks pay their fines, that kind of stuff. A lot of logistical bullshit that is really gonna be kind of boring. It's just a whole lot of dicking around in the CAD, so to speak, getting some of that stuff done. I do appreciate y'all hanging out. We'll do this again at some point next month. Be sure and do ! rotation in the chat there. You'll get the official KUFFS stream rotation calendar up there. If I remember correctly, let's see, tomorrow evening we're going to be having, I believe it's going to be a prison stream. Rod Wilson will be streaming as a prison guard, and we'll also have Jamie H streaming as a cameraman, doing kind of an interview session with some inmates and guards and the warden and stuff at the prison tomorrow. So we have two different viewpoints going. There'll be things going on at different times, so make sure that you check the rotational calendar over there. I appreciate y'all hanging out and being such loyal viewers over here. We do love each and every one of you. And that's going to do it for me. Y'all take care, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night on Rod Wilson's channel and Jamie H's channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
I rise just like a phoenix, born from the ashes. I take care